It's Monday, April 19th, and the time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Barbados recorded its fourth homicide for the year following a stabbing incident at Pleasant Hall Land, St. Matthias, Christchurch. 28-year-old Tremaine Shavar Haynes, from the same community, died after receiving multiple stab wounds about his body. Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Rodney Innes said the incident occurred when Hines and a group of men were involved in an altercation around 20 minutes to 7 last night. He was pronounced dead at the scene by a medical doctor, while another man was also injured and taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for treatment. The police spokesman said his injuries did not appear to be life-threatening. As investigations continue, lawmen are appealing to anyone who has information about this incident to contact the Hastings Woodin Police Station at 430-7614, police emergency number at 211, Crime Stoppers, or any other police station. In other news this Monday, more public entities reopen for business even as cleanup operations continue. Fish markets reopened today from 8 a.m. with the exception of the Bridgetown Market, which is still being cleaned and is set to open on Tuesday. The Paynes Bay Market will remain closed until further notice due to roadworks and repair. In an update last night, Home Affairs, Information and Public Affairs Minister Wilfred Abrams said those markets which are reopening will operate under new protocols as residents continue to deal with the effects of the volcano ash deposited on the island by St. Vincent's La Soufrière volcano.
New protocols have been instituted for the markets to mitigate the circumstances with the ash, including frequent cleaning, covering, and the bagging of fish. I'm asking you please to cooperate with the officials on site. The Bridgetown port is still in the process of being cleaned, but significant progress has been made. The sheds will be open and deliveries restarted to the public from Shed 2 and Shed 4, commencing tomorrow, Monday, April the 19th, 2021. With respect to the cleanup of our beaches, the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and the NCC will begin addressing the ash on the beach, utilizing the self-propelled beach cleaner to agitate the sand and to change the ashy appearance closer to the white sand appearance, for which Barbadian beaches are well known. This process will also remove other debris from the beach. The Ministry and NCC have consulted with the Barbados Sea Turtle Project and have determined that at this early stage of the nesting season, we can safely utilize the beach cleaner. Each beach will be assessed on an individual basis as conditions on each beach is unique. This option is considered to be the most efficient and poses the least environmental impact at this time. Cleaning will start from Dover Beach on tomorrow, Monday, April 19th, and work in a westerly direction through Worthing, Rockley, Hastings, Needhams, Carlisle Bay, and Brandons as required.
The minister also disclosed that normal operations will also resume for all departments within the Ministry of Health and Wellness, except for the St. Philip Polyclinic, which will reopen on Wednesday, April 21st. A number of other departments and facilities will resume operations today, including government headquarters, public markets, and sugar factories, while the Supreme Court will open on Tuesday.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is set to commence full operations, including the provision of services to the public, from tomorrow, April 19th. While all veterinary services have been resumed, please note that the incinerator services are still unavailable until further notice. Public markets will resume full operations between the hour of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Hours, however, vary across individual markets. All state-owned enterprises falling under the purview of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security will resume regular services from tomorrow. These include BADMC, BMCLA, SMI, and BAMC. All factory operations are also ready to start, and the 2021 sugarcane harvesting season will continue in earnest, with Portvale factory set to receive canes for processing from 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Please note that while all services are resumed, certain arrangements in respect of COVID-19 precautions and protocols will still limit the overall amount of services provided at any given time under the Ministry of Agriculture. The public is also urged to follow the COVID-19 protocols instituted at the various entities and departments under this ministry's purview.
Now for an update on the latest from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says the majority of residents displaced by the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano prefer to stay at home and rebuild. He tells Barbados Today only a small number of people have signaled a desire to travel to Barbados and some OECS countries.
There are persons who are interested in few persons interested in going to Barbados to meet friends and family temporarily. But that's not where our focus is on the OECS countries, those which had made preparations like Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts, Antigua, and even some private homes in St. Lucia. The thing is this, is that we have to abide by whatever conditions for the entry into those countries. I mean, this is the time of COVID too. Some would require naturally the PCR test and they'd have to quarantine. Some may require vaccination, whatever it is. And it's not going to be a flood. It's more like a trickle, because overwhelming majority of people want to stay and rebuild. But some with their families, they want to go and join them, their friends. You know how this Caribbean goes.
Back at home in Barbados, residents will begin receiving the second dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine from today. Phase 2 of the program was slated to start on Saturday, April 17th, but was delayed because of the impact of the ash fall from St. Vincent's La Soufre volcano. Major David Clark said people will be contacted by the Ministry of Health and Wellness Immunization Unit via email, text, or telephone on when and where to go to get the second shot. He, however, explained that in some cases, the date stated on the blue vaccination cards for second doses would not be applicable, since the 4-week timeline originally given to persons was extended by health officials to 10 or 12 weeks. To date, 69,490 people have received their first doses of the vaccine as part of the National Vaccination Program for COVID-19. And now an update on daily COVID-19 cases. Virus cases in Barbados climbed to 3,781 over the weekend, when health authorities recorded 8 new positive cases. That's 2 females and 6 males on Saturday. Additionally, 9 people also recovered and were discharged, taking the current number of people in isolation to 84. This means that a total of 3,665 people have recovered. There have been 44 deaths from the virus.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, students in St. Lucia are returning to their physical classrooms for face-to-face instructions after months of online learning. And the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar George, has been seeking to allay the fears of stakeholders amid the continuing COVID-19 environment.
In St. Lucia, children under 18 years make up to 9% of cases to date. Generally, this age group presents with mild or asymptomatic disease. There have been no deaths to COVID-19 in this age group in country. Current evidence suggests that children are less likely than adults to be transmitters of the disease, and child-to-child transmission is uncommon at schools. Schools have not been associated with significant increases in community transmission.
And finally, the U.S. Chief Medical Advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, expects the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Vaccine Advisory Panel will make a decision on the resumption of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine on Friday. More in this Reuters TV report.
Top U.S. infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci on CBS's Face the Nation Sunday predicted that U.S. health regulators will end the temporary pause on distributing Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine, adding he expected a decision could come as soon as Friday.
I would be very surprised, Margaret, if we don't have a resumption in some form by Friday. A decision almost certainly will be made by Friday. I don't really anticipate that they're going to want to stretch it out a bit longer.
U.S. health regulators recommended last week that use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine be paused after reports of 6 cases of rare brain blood clots in women out of some 7 million people who have received the shot in the United States. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Advisory Panel is set to meet on April 23rd to discuss the next steps for the vaccine. Fauci said he does not know what the final decision will be, but he predicts there will be a resumption.
One of the possibilities would be to bring them back, but to do it with some form of restriction or some form of warning.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.